topic relevance is a big factor. So let's say the actual words on the page or the nature of the content set off a trigger that this is medically related content. So they're going to run a specific criteria for that medical content. So we're gonna get into a lot of that. I'm gonna try to speed it up because we've got a lot to go through. There's 3 main pillars of on-page optimization, and on-page optimization is essentially things that take place on your website. There's also off-page optimization, which has to do with external factors pointing in, things like links and PR and stuff like that. But on-site, there are a number of different criteria that we need to go through. One is technology, another is content, and the other is user metrics. There's static quality elements that have to do with your website as it stands. So there's things like the layout. Where is the content positioned on the page? Do you push the content below the fold, or do you provide information right at the top? Code compliance and standards. Is your coding up to the current standards, or is it a website that's built in 2002? So Google actually looks at these types of things. The site architecture, is it usable for visitors? Do visitors conveniently navigate the site? Do you properly link from page to page? Do pages link back to each other? Do you have a footer? Do you have a strong internal linking structure? The text on your site, is it high quality? Is it well written content? Is the grammar good? There's all these other factors like images and videos and meta optimization and structured data. There's also things like having business pages on your site, like an About Us page or policy pages. For example, if you're an e-commerce store and you have a store full of products and you're accepting credit cards and people are actually putting their information into your site, do you have a privacy policy explaining how you are protecting users' information? Do you have a terms and conditions? Do you have a shipping policy? So these are all, so having standardized business policy pages are really important to just, if nothing else, prove that you're a real business. We're going to talk a little bit about branding and how Google treats different brands, but it's important to really check all the boxes as if you were to set up a business on the avenue somewhere. There's certain things you do. You'd have insurance. You'd have a business license. You'd have all those things, and you'd be required to post them and have records of them. Your website should be treated in a very similar fashion. Performance metrics on your website are another big factor. Site speed being the number one. Site speed is the most important performance factor that there is with a website. And that's largely because it dictates how users interact with your site. I don't know about you guys, but if I land on a website and it takes more than 3 or 4 or 5 seconds to load, I'm probably going to leave that site. So that's actually an SEO factor. You'd think that that's a usability factor, but actually the search engines do look at that, and they can see that data. They can tell how fast your site loads. If they can't see it through analytics, then they can see it through Chrome, or they can do a data share with Firefox. They have a lot of that data available to them, so they can actually see how your site performs. They can just call your site and use their algorithms to see how it performs. So there's a lot of things you can do to increase your site speed, like having clean code, optimized scripts and things like that, doing proper file and resource management, where those files are called from are really important. There's a lot of configurations that can be done on the server side or the hosting side that can really speed up the performance of your site. There really could be a whole hour on this topic alone. The main takeaway is you have to have a fast loading website. And there's tools out there on the internet that allow you to check these types of things. So here's a hierarchy of importance. Search Metrics is a data firm that analyzes thousands and thousands of queries every year. And they analyze queries being search phrases, and they analyze the top 10 ranking pages, or the top 30 ranking pages, across 10,000 different search queries. And they've determined that site speed of the technical factors is the most important. So I'm going to show you a lot of these hierarchy graphs like this. There's other things in here like having a short URL, making sure that every page has a unique meta description, making sure that your images are optimized and things like that. And we are recording this, and we will make the recording available to you guys. The big takeaways with the on-page technology of a website is creating a robust site architecture. That means your pages are linked together very efficiently, very conveniently for users to navigate. Put it this way, if the users on your site cannot find a page on your site, then the search engines are going to have a tough time finding it as well. And if you're not linking to that page from the main navigation, then you're essentially not assigning that much importance for that particular page. If you bury a page in a sitemap, you're not exactly convincing Google or the other search engines that that's an important page to users, so why would they award that page that much weight, in other words, in search? Internal links are really important. So you can link from the navigation, you can link from within your text, within the page itself. You can link from the footer or the sidebar, but having a strong internal linking structure between your pages is very important. Site speed, keeping it up to date, making sure that nothing's out of compliance, and optimizing every page on the site. The little button right there, bubble, 0.99 seconds. That's less than a second that most of the top 10 ranking URLs have for a load speed on a page. So I know a lot of people in this room probably have websites that don't load in under a second. Right? It's actually it's rather difficult to get a 1 second load speed, but there are ways to do it. Technology of your website. There's so many things you can do, and nowadays it seems to be a prerequisite to having any performance in search. So take a holistic approach to it. Approach it as if these things need to be done for just the health of your business. Make sure they get done. Make sure you have a good programmer, a good web designer, making sure that everything is up to par and up to date and in compliance on your site, because it's kind of the baseline criteria to get results in search.